From Busch Stadium in St. Louis, we have the kind of game a dream season is made for. We're in the fourth game of an 18-game mini-season, and then the playoffs. 13 teams in the American League, 13 teams in the National League. The top 5 in each league make the playoffs. And these two teams are combatants for one or more of those spots. They are the 1984 Cubs, winners of the National League Eastern Division, against the 1987 St. Louis Cardinals, champions of the National League in that season. The Cubs will be pitching Scott Sanderson. Today he was 8-5 with a 3.14 earned run average in 24 starts in 1984, either the third starter or the fourth starter, depending upon how you count. He will be opposed by the homestanding St. Louis Cardinals' Bob Forsch, 11-7 with a 4.32 earned run average in 30 starts in 1987. Forsch, of course, a member of all three Cardinal World Series teams in the 80s, 82, 85, and 87. Let's go through the lineups. The 1984 Cubs are 2-1 so far in our mini season. The 87 having won 2 out of 3 against the 69 Cubs. The 87 Cardinals are 1-2, having won 1 of the 3 games against the 64 edition of that same franchise. Let's give you the lineups for today. Leading off for the Cubs in center field, it's Bobby Dernier. Batting second at second base, Ryan Sandberg. Batting third in left field, Gary Matthews. Batting fourth in right field, Keith Moreland. Batting fifth at first base, Leon Durham. Batting sixth at third base, Ron Say. Batting seventh and doing the catching, it's Jody Davis. Batting eighth at shortstop, it's Larry Boa. And batting ninth and doing the pitching for the Cubs today is Scott Sanderson. For the homestanding 87 Cardinals, Vince Coleman leads off and plays left field. Willie McGee bats second and plays center field. Tommy Herr bats third and plays second base. Jack Clark bats fourth and plays first base. Terry Pendleton bats fifth and plays third base. Jose Oquendo plays right field today and bats sixth. Ozzie Smith bats seventh and plays shortstop. And Steve Lake, former Cub, will do the catching today and bat eighth. Batting ninth will be the pitcher, Bob Forsch, for the Cardinals. His first start of the season. This is game 4 for both teams. Cubs tied for second with 2-1. Cardinals tied for third at 1-2. We'll see how things shake out in this series. The key thing, quite obviously, for the Cubs, they'd like to avoid a sweep, obviously, if they can do that. Staying around 500 seems safe for the time being. For the Cardinals, they must not get swept. If they drop to 1-5 and have a whole bunch of teams to climb over to get in the playoffs, with just 12 games remaining after this series, that might be kind of tough. But we'll see how it goes. Bobby Dernier leads off against Bob Forsch. And he lifts one in the air to left field, and that's going to be Vince Coleman taking it for out number 1. Here comes the 1984 MVP, Ryan Sandberg. Ryan hit 300 against righties in 1984. This is a range check for Vince Coleman. Let's see if he gets there. Where's my card? Where's my card? Where's my card? Here it is. I've got it. Don't you worry. And Coleman will get there for the play. That's 2 down in the first for Chicago, and now it's Gary Matthews. This team, of course, not built for the AstroTurf of Busch Stadium. So we'll see if the team speed of the Cardinals makes a difference. And Matthews takes ball 4, draws a walk. He goes down to first base, and Keith Moreland will get his turn in the first inning. Moreland, several positions in 1984, a .269 average against righties. And Keith lifts this one in the air to center field. Willie McGee is going to come in a few steps and take it for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the first, and the Cardinals are coming to bat. We're scoreless in St. Louis. It's Coleman, McGee, and Herr for those running Cardinals against Scott Sanderson and his curveball. Pitch to Vince. He draws a walk, and uh-oh for the Cubs. That's not someone you want to walk. Checking Davis's arm. He is a 3. And, of course, Vince Coleman is a B. And that makes him an overwhelmingly likely man to be running. Willie McGee steps in the batter's box. He's .284 against right-handers on the 87 season. Pitch from Sanderson. There goes Coleman. And he will be safe. The throw down to Boa is not in time. And Vince steals second. Okay, McGee is in there now with the man in scoring position and a ball 1, no strike count. Pitch from Sanderson to McGee. This one's lifted in the air to left. Gary Matthews coming in a few steps. He'll make the play, and that's 1 down. Tommy Herr. Coleman with a huge leadoff second. Herr hit .241 against right-handers in 1987. And Tommy lifts this one in the air to center field. Dernier on the run, but he will make the catch in shallow left center. Coleman has to retreat to second base and not tag. Clark comes up. Jack Clark, .299 with a .623 slugging average against righties. And they're going to put him on. They're going to walk Jack Clark and get to Terry Pendleton with first base open. And Pendleton is a .259 batter on the 1987 season with a .392 slugging average. Sanderson to the belt. Checks Coleman. The pitch home to Terry. Is grounded to Say. Ron's going to take it himself to third base, and that will retire the Cardinals in the first after 1. We are scoreless in St. Louis. For the second inning, for the Cubs, it'll be Durham, Say, and Davis representing the Cubbies. Durham, .286 against righties in 1984, and I'm dropping dice left and right. Pitch to Leon is stroked to right center. This one's going to get to the gap. And Durham will take second on the double. McGee gets the ball back in, and that'll bring up Ron Say with a man in scoring position. Forced to the belt. Checks Durham. The pitch home to Say is popped up. Terry Pendleton is going to call for it. And just in fair territory, he will make the play for out number 1. Jody Davis up with Larry Boa on deck. Pitch to Jody from Forsch. He strokes a base hit. This one is not deep enough to score. Durham. McGee gets the throw back in. There are men at the corners now for Boa. And 1 man out. Scott Sanderson on deck. Larry only hit .193 against righties on the 1984 season. Durham leads off third. Davis leads off first. Forced to the belt. The pitch home, Boa squares to bunt. Boa gets it down. It's fielded by Forsch, but Durham streaks across home plate. The throw will be to first, and on the squeeze bunt, the throw goes from Sanderson to her covering first, and the Cubs are on the board 1-0. So Jim Fry playing a little small ball to get a run in before Scott Sanderson, his pitcher, bats here in the second. Davis takes second, and Sanderson steps in. The pitch from Forsch to Sanderson is grounded to first. Jack Clark is going to take it himself. The Cubs settle for 1 run on 2 hits. They leave 1, and after 1.5, they lead this game 1-0. Sanderson is back out. It'll be Oquendo, Smith, and Lake for the Cardinals. Jose, .294 against right-handers on the 1987 season. He played everywhere and became the hero of the Sklar brothers for doing so. This one's lifted in the air to left. Gary Matthews back a few steps, and he'll make the play for out number 1 in the second inning. Ozzie Smith, .334 against righties on the 87 season. And he draws a walk with 1 man out, and Steve Lake coming to bat. See what Ozzie's going to do here with Lake up. A lot of ways they could do this. Cardinals like to run. Ozzie working on his lead. Sanderson to the belt. He is slow to the plate. The pitch from Sanderson. There goes Smith. The throw down to Sandberg is not in time, and Ozzie steals second. So with Lake still aboard with a 1-strike count, Lake still up with a 1-strike count, it's Ozzie at second and 1 out. Pitch to Lake. Hit in the air to center. Bobby Dernier in 2, 3, 4 steps. He'll make the catch, and that's 2 gone for Bob Forsch. Bob could hit a little in 1987. Pitch to him is a hanger. Sanderson hangs a breaking ball. Forsch swings and smashes it to short. Boa on a short hop gloves it. The throw to Durham is in time by a half step to beat Forsch to the bag, and that retires the Cardinals in the second. We go to the third inning. 1-0 Cubs over the Cardinals in Busch Stadium. For the Cubbies in the third, it's Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews, the top 3 in the order. Try and get more runs, more insurance against Forsch. Dernier, .283 against right-handers in 84. And he smacks this to left field. It's going to drop in front of Coleman, and he's aboard with a base hit. Let's see what Jim Fry might want to do with him. Lake has an arm, and it's a good one. Sandberg is 0 for 1. The 1984 MVP. Forsch checks Dernier at first. The pitch home to Sandberg. Is hit in the air to left. That's Coleman. Vince makes the catch. Awkward looking, but makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Dernier hustles back to first base, and Gary Matthews will be up. Gary walked in the first inning. No official at-bats in the game so far. 277 against righties on the season. And Force hangs one. Matthews swings and hits it. Whoa, we got a rare play. See how this goes. Checking Lake's range. Okay, got to re-roll. Lake makes the play, he blocks the pitch. Sarge back in there. Ball one, no strikes to him. This is grounded to Clark. Jack spins and throws to Ozzie at second base. The return throw to Force is not in time, so they get a fielder's choice. They force Dernier at second. Matthews beats the rap at first, and there's 2 men out with 1 man on first base for Moreland. 0 for 1 for Keith today. We're in the top of the third with 2 outs. Cubs lead 1-0. And Moreland chops one to third. That's Pendleton. He's going to go the short way to her, and that will retire the Cubs in the top of the third. We go to the bottom of the third. We've played 2.5. It's Cubs 1, Cardinals 0. Top of the order for St. Louis in the third. Coleman, McGee, and Herr. No hits yet allowed by Sanderson. 2 walks and 1 more intentionally. Pitch from Sanderson. Grounded to second. Ryan Sandberg is going to make the play to Durham, and that's 1 gone. Willie McGee is 0 for 1. Pitch from Sanderson. He hung another one. No, he didn't. Left-handed batter. McGee swings. And this one's a comebacker, gloved by Sanderson, who's going to flip to Durham for 2 outs. And Tommy Herr tries to keep the inning going with nobody on and 2 outs. Sanderson's pitch. Grounded to short. Boa takes 1 step, fires to Durham, and that'll retire the Cardinals in the third. So we've played 3. It's 1-0 Cubs. And a tight one, as we would expect, between these 2 bitter rivals. In the Cub fourth, it's Durham, Say, and Davis. Leon is 1 for 1. He scored the only run with a double in the second. And he just went to left center on this one, and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Durham's second double on the day. And he's again in scoring position for Say and nobody out. Ron 0 for 1 on the day. Only 236 in 1984, but dangerous. Popped him up. Jack Clark going to call for it and take it. And he does. That's 1 gone. Jody Davis 1 for 1 on the day with a single back in the second. Durham takes his lead. Force checks him. The pitch home to Jody. Is a comebacker to Force. He looks at Durham, stops his progress, flips to Clark, and that's 2 gone with Boa up, 2 outs, and Sanderson on deck. Tough decision here. Does Whitey walk Boa to get to Sanderson, or just thank his lucky stars that Larry Boa in 1984 is coming to the plate and pitch to him? That's what he's going to do. Larry scored the only Cub run on his squeeze bunt back in the second inning. Pitch home. Oh my gosh, he hung it. Forsch hangs one. It's a base hit to center. Here comes Durham. And Leon will score on the single by Boa. And second guessers everywhere are wondering why in the world they pitch to Boa with the pitcher on deck. But it's 2-0 Cubs, Boa on first. And even more shocking, Larry Boa has both RBIs in this game. Sanderson stands in. He's 0 for 1 on the day. The pitch to Scott with Boa on first. Hit in the air to right. This is Oquendo with room, and he'll make the play. After 3.5, it's Cubs 2, Cardinals 0 in St. Louis. Here comes Scott Sanderson. He'll face Clark, Pendleton, and Oquendo in the Cardinal 4th inning. Jack was intentionally walked in his only at-bat in the 1st inning. Pitch by Sanderson. And he strokes it down the line, passe. This is going to get in the corner. Jack's going to help himself to a double. He had 23 of them on the season in 1987. Pendleton, 0 for 1. Chance to drive in a run to help the cause. Pitch from Sanderson. Hey, struck him out, and Scott gets his first strikeout in a good spot. That'll bring up Oquendo with 1 out, and Clark still at second base. Pitch from Sanderson. Grounded to Say. Say looks at Clark and then throws to first to retire Oquendo. There's 2 outs and Ozzie Smith is up. They could walk Smith and get to Lake. It's the same problem the Cardinals faced last inning. They did not walk the man they could have, Ozzie Smith, or that was Boa, that was Boa, but are they going to walk him here? Lake hit 208 with a 238 on base average against right-handers. They're going to walk Ozzie. That's the second intentional walk Fry has ordered. The lead run does come to the plate, which is kind of a Cardinal sin. No pun intended. Well, yeah, pun intended. And Sanderson now works with a force at any base. Scott to the belt, checks Clark at second, checks Ozzie at first. The pitch home to Lake. This is grounded to third. That's Say. Ron did not have a lot of range in 1984, and it's by him. It's by him for a base hit. Is it going to be trouble? It is. It's down into the corner, and Sarge is having trouble with it. That will score Clark. That will score the very speedy Ozzie Smith. Steve Lake has a 2-run double. To his credit, we have a tie game. And, excuse me. And now Bob Forsch is coming to the plate with 2 outs and Lake in scoring position. So they get burned on the intentional walk to Ozzie by the weak hitting catcher, Steve Lake, and former Cub. Forsch at the plate, Sanderson to the belt, checks Lake at second, the pitch home. Hey, strikes out Forsch, but not before. The Cardinals get 2 runs and tie the game on 2 hits. They leave 1. We go to the 5th, and we've decided nothing. It's 2-2, Cubs and Cardinals. 84 Cubs have the top of the order coming up. Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews for the 3rd time leading off an inning. Forsch back to even. We're in the top of the 5th. Pitch to Bobby. He lifts one in the air to left. That's not his game. Vince Coleman in his tracks will take it for out number 1. And now Ryan Sandberg, 0 for 2 on the day. A couple of flyouts to Vince. Base hit up the middle for Sandberg. He's aboard, and that'll bring in the lead run on base for the Cubs. Gary Matthews is 0 for 1 with a walk. Forced to the belt. He checks Sandberg at first. Pitch to Matthews. Grounded to second. That's Tommy. Tommy Herr goes to Ozzie for 1. And whoa! Sandberg knocks Ozzie into left field with a hard slide. Matthews beats the wrap at first. So with 2 outs on Matthews at first now, it'll be Moreland. And Keith is 0 for 2. Line drive, base hit. This goes to right field. Sarge will take third as the ball lands in front of Oquendo, and Jose throws it into second base. Moreland's on with a single. Matthews is at third. The Cubs have men at the corners with 2 outs here in the 5th. And Leon Durham, who's 2 for 2 and has scored the 2 Cub runs on a pair of doubles on his day, forced to the belt. The pitch home. He grounds one to Clark. Jack's going to take it unassisted, and that will retire the Cubs. After 4.5, we're halfway home. We're dead even at 2. Deuces are wild. Top of the Cardinal order for the 3rd time in the game. Coleman, McGee, and Herr in the bottom of the 5th. Alrighty, here's Vince. And this one is hit past Durham's outstretched glove to right field. Coleman's on for the 2nd time in the day, and he might be going. Willie McGee comes up, bats lefty with a nice hole at first base. Durham holding Coleman close. Coleman puts a lot of pressure on a defense if he can get on base. So Willie is up. Sanderson to the belt. The pitch home to McGee, and there goes Coleman. And he is safe at second on the steal. They're running wild on Jody Davis. 3rd steal on the day for the Cardinals. McGee now has a man in scoring position, and Sanderson going to pitch carefully to him. Herr is on deck. Clark in the hole. Pitch to Willie. Grounded to short. Boa holds Coleman at second and throws to Durham for the out. 1 gone. Tommy Herr is 0 for 2. He'd love to drive in the run. Clark on deck. Yay! Struck him out on a breaking pitch. 2 gone. Clark up. They're walking him because first base is open, and that's going to leave it up to Pendleton. They did the same thing in the 1st inning and got away with it when Terry grounded out to Say. If he comes through now, the Cardinals will take the lead. There's 2 outs. Coleman at second. Clark at first. He's been intentionally walked for the 2nd time in the game. Pitch to Terry. Grounded to second. Sandberg makes a nice play to his right. Turns and throws to Durham to get him. And we have played 5 in St. Louis. And we're all even at 2. As it's Say, Davis, and Boa coming up in the 6th for the Cubs. Both teams understand this is game 4 in an 18-game mini season. Every game is big. Every pitch is big. Say has popped up twice on the day. The pitch from Forsch. Ron pulls one to left for a base hit. He's on with a single. Not a speedster, to say the least, especially by the time 1984 rolled around. Jody Davis steps in now, double play candidate, if they can get him to hit it on the carpet. Jody's 1 for 2. Pitch to Jody. A comebacker to Forsch. He goes to Ozzie for 1. The relay is in the dirt, but blocked by Clark. Davis beats the rap at first on the fielder's choice. So 1 out. And Boa will be up. Larry has both RBIs for the Cubs on the day. If he gets another one, there will be a party in Chicago like you've never seen before. Davis on first base. There's 1 man out. Boas, the pitch from Forsch. And Larry Boa gets a hit. And Jody Davis is going to make his way all the way over to third base on the single to right for Boa. And now there's 2 on, men at the corners for Sanderson. There's 1 man out. The score is dead even at 2. Are they going to have Scott squeeze? What exactly is the game plan here? Forsch in trouble here in the 6th. Whitey's going to the phone. He's going to get Pat Perry and Lee Tunnel throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. A lefty and a righty for double-barreled action. And Sanderson will come to the plate. Oh, boy. Is he going to come to the plate? No, he's not. The Cubs are going for it. One out, first and third. Davis at third, Boa at first. Sanderson up, Dernier on deck. Yeah, they're going to let him bat. They're going to let him bat, and here he comes. He may be given the squeeze sign. Let's see what Fry wants him to do. The Cardinal infield is going to play in. Try and choke off the run at the plate. Interesting call there, but it's even and it's getting late. Pitch from Forsch to the belt. Checks Davis at third. Checks Boa at first. The pitch home to Sanderson. He's not bunting. He grounds one to her. Okay, just checking the rules here, how to do this. Okay, so this is grounded to who? This is grounded to Clark, who's going to step on first for the out, and Davis holds at third base. Boa advances to second. There's 2 gone, and now Bobby Dernier coming to the plate with Sandberg on deck. Dernier is 1 for 3 Infield at normal depth now with 2 outs for St. Louis. Force to the belt. Checks Davis at third. The pitch home to Dernier. And it's a base hit to center field. Bobby Dernier comes through. That'll score Davis. Let's see what happens with Boa. He will be waved and score on Dernier's hit. No, I'm wrong. Davis is the only one that scores. Boa stops at third because he's only a 5, base running with 2 outs. So it's first and third again, except now it's Dernier at first and Boa at third. Sandberg is up. The Cubs lead 3-2. There's 2 outs in the 6th. Force on the ropes. Bob to the belt. The pitch home to Sandberg. Lifted in the air to left. It's deep. Coleman is back to the track, to the wall, and he's got it at the wall to retire the side. Ooh, deep breath for the Cardinals. But the Cubs do plate 1 run. On 3 hits, they leave 2. After 5.5, Cubs 3, Cardinals 2 in San Luis. Here comes Sanderson back out for inning number 6 of his day. He will face Oquendo, Smith, and Lake in the Cardinals 6th. 0 for 2 for Jose on the day. This is hit to left. Matthews. Does not get there. It drops in. And this will be a sliding head-first, aggressive lead-off double for Jose Oquendo. Sanderson on the ropes now. Cub bullpen going to get moving. Bordy and Frazier are throwing in the bullpen for the Cubs. Smith at the plate. A walk intentionally and a walk unintentionally make up his day. Sanderson to the belt. The pitch to Ozzie. Hey, struck him out. That's number 4 on the day for Sanderson, and that couldn't have come at a better time. Lake comes to the plate. We're in the 6th inning. Steve drove in the only 2 Cardinal runs on the day with a double in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Force on deck, but you know he's not going to hit unless something odd happens. The pitch to Lake. It's a base hit for Lake. Drops in front of Dernier. Here comes Oquendo. He will score, and Steve Lake has 3 RBIs on the day. It's the Steve Lake, Larry Boa offensive show here in St. Louis. Force is due. He will not bat. He's being called back by Whitey. And I think we all know how painful that can be. Just ask Gary Templeton. John Morris is going to be the pinch hitter, not the old Chicago Bear, not the WBBM sports guy, but instead the Cardinal left-handed hitting backup outfielder. Going to try and keep the inning going here with Lake on first and 1 man out against Sanderson. We're tied at 3 in this one. Scott to the belt, the pitch home, grounded to second. Sandberg to Boa for 1. That's all they'll get as Morris beats the Rap at first base. Lake is out at second. And Morris, with 2 outs, is now standing at first with Vince Coleman standing up, coming to the plate. Vince, 1 for 2 on the day, a pair of stolen bases, and a walk on his ledger. He hits one in the air to right. Moreland, not an AstroTurf guy, will get there, though, and that will retire the Cardinals in the 6th. So the Cubs and Cardinals trade solo runs in the 6th. That means we're back to even after 6 complete. It's 3-3 in Busch Stadium. We're going to have a new Cardinal pitcher. Let's see what they're going to do about this. It's Matthews, Moreland, and Durham. And Whitey wants Ricky Horton out of the bullpen. Horton, an 8-3 record with a 382 earned run average. He will bat 9th in the order in the spot vacated by John Morris. And, of course, Horton's season was marred by hearing a who. That would be Horton hears a who. I'm really sorry about that. Gary Matthews, Keith Moreland, Leon Durham. Gary is 0 for 2 with a walk on the day. We are tied at 3. The 84 Cubs are at bat against the 87 Cardinals. Pitch to the Sarge. He strikes him out. 1 gone in the 7th. Moreland is 1 for 3. Loves hitting the lefties. Pitch to Ricky. And Keith draws a walk and ambles down to first base. So with 1 out, Moreland is on first for Durham, who's 2 for 3 and the offensive star of the day, unless you count Larry Boa. And I don't think anybody really does. Here's the pitch to Leon. Hit in the air to left. Vince Coleman has room and puts it away for out number 2. And now it's Say with Moreland retreating to first. And Milo Hamilton, wherever he is, calling him Zonk for reasons that escape everybody. Well, actually, they don't escape everybody, but it's just annoying. Pitch to Say. Say is 1 for 3. Pitch to Say from Horton. Grounded to her at second on a couple of bounces. Tommy will throw to Clark, and that retires the Cubs in the 7th. It's time to stretch them out. We've decided nothing. It is 3-3 Cubs and Cardinals. We're going to have a new pitcher for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the 7th, it's going to be George Frazier. Frazier will bat 9th and face McGee, Herr, and Clark in the bottom of the 7th. Willie, 0 for 3 on the day. We're tied at 3. Pitch from George is slapped into right center, and it's going to split Dernier and Moreland and roll all the way to the wall. Moreland, gets it on the warning track and fires it in, so McGee will hold at second with a leadoff double, not wanting to make the first out at third base. He plays it, a little conservatively here. Tommy Herr with a chance to drive him in. There's nobody out, and McGee on second. Frazier's in trouble. Stoddard is warming in the Cub bullpen in a hurry. Tommy is 0 for 3 with a strikeout on the day. The pitch from Frazier. Grounded to second. This is Sandberg. He throws to Durham for the out. McGee advances to third with 1 out. Clark is due. They've intentionally walked him twice, and when they didn't do that, he doubled. First base is open. Pendleton still on deck. Frazier to the belt, looks at McGee at third base. The pitch home to Clark. They're not walking him. Oh, yes, they are. Ball 4. They intentionally walked him, and so the runners are now at the corners for Pendleton. Cub defense playing back for a double play, hoping to turn it on Terry on the carpet. Pitch to Pendleton. Hit in the air to right. Moreland. Is it deep enough? No, it's not. He makes the catch, and McGee will hold and bring up Oquendo with 2 men out. Runners at the corners for St. Louis, and a tie score in the bottom of the 7th. Jose at bat. 1 for 3, a double, and a run scored. Pitch to him. Hey, struck him out. Frazier comes through. Shaky inning, but he gets out of it. We've played 7 in St. Louis, and the Cubs and Cardinals are tied at 3. Going back out for the 8th. It's Ricky Horton. He will face Davis, Boa, and Frazier in the bottom of the 8th. Jody, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Pitch to him. He walked him. Davis and Moreland had a race to see who was, and Say, Davis, Moreland, and Say had a race to see who was the slowest on the team. They used a calendar to time them, and nobody won. Everybody just lost interest because it took so long for them to finish. So, Boa's up with Davis at first. Larry is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a bunt. Horton to the belt, looks at Davis at first, who's got about a 1.5 lead. The pitch home, Boa squares to bunt. And Larry gets it down. Gloved by Horton, who's going to throw to her. And that is a sacrifice bunt, moving Davis to second. George Frazier is due. Fry is calling him back. They woke Jim up from his nap just in time to make the strategic decision of who the pinch hitter ought to be. And it's going to be Gary Woods, the backup outfielder who hit .271 against left-handers in 1987. Davis is at second. Woods at the plate. There's 2 out. There's 1 out. Horton to the belt. The pitch home to Woods. Hitting the ground to second. Tommy Herr to his left. Gloves it and throws to Clark for the out. That's good enough to get Jody Davis to third base with 2 outs for Dernier, who is having a nice day at 2 for 4. Go-ahead run at third base in Jody Davis. Dernier against Horton. Ricky to the belt, the pitch home. Grounded to short, Ozzie Smith. From the hole, fires and gets him to Clark, and that will retire the Cubs in the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. We've decided nothing. Cubs 3, Cardinals 3, and we'll have a new Cubs pitcher. It's Tim Stoddard, who gets to face Ozzie Smith, Steve Lake, and Ricky Horton. Ozzie, an intentional walk, an unintentional walk, and a strikeout, and a stolen base, and a run scored on his day. He's been busy. Okay. Pitch to Ozzie. It's a hanger. Not what you want to do. Base hit for Ozzie. I guess if you got to hang one, it's not that bad to Ozzie. And a single. But he can run, and Davis hasn't come close to throwing anybody out in this game. Lake coming to the plate. Do they want a pinch hit for Steve Lake? Stoddard to the belt. The pitch home to Lake. He squares to bunt. He gets it down. Excuse me. It's gloved by Durham, who's going to flip to Sandberg, and that will retire the Cardinals catcher, but advance Ozzie Smith to second base with one man out. Now, it's Horton is due, but Ricky is not going to bat. It's going to be Dan Dreesen, former member of the Big Red Machine. And called on here in the 8th to try and deliver Ozzie Smith from second base. One out. Stoddard to the belt. The pitch home to Dreesen. And Dan draws a walk. So runners at first and second now. Lee Smith is going to get up even though the game is tied. Lee Smith is getting up in the Cubs bullpen. Stoddard laboring, and Vince Coleman coming to the plate. All right, so Vince is 1 for 3 with a walk. He has stolen 2 bases. Stoddard to the belt, checks Ozzie at second, checks Dreesen at first. The pitch home to Coleman. Ball 4. He walked him. The bases are now loaded full of Cardinals with Willie McGee coming up and one man out. The Cub infield moves in, and things certainly look bleak for the boys from Chicago. Willie is 1 for 4 with a double on the day. Stoddard to the belt. The pitch home. They struck him out. 2 gone, and Tommy Herr coming up. Here comes Jim Fry out of the dugout, and I gotta believe Smith is ready. And no, he's gonna leave him in. Jim's going back to the dugout. I think he forgot what he went out there for. So Stoddard still on to face Herr with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Tommy's on an 0 for 4 day. Pitch. Grounded to second. Sandberg to his left. Throws to Durham, and they are out of the mess. We go to the 9th. We are still tied 3-3 in St. Louis. New pitcher for the Cardinals is the closer, Todd Worrell. Give you his numbers in a second. First, Ricky Horton went 2 innings, allowed no hits, walked 2, struck out 1, no runs, no home runs. And that is his day. He cannot win or lose it. Todd Worrell is in. He pitched 75 games in 1987, 33 saves, 8-6 record with a .66 earned run average. He will face Sandberg, Matthews, and Moreland in the Cub ninth. We are tied at 3. Both teams want this important first game of the series. Sandberg is 1 for 4. Pitch to Ryan. Lifted in the air to left. Way back. Coleman to the track. Coleman making the catch. Not quite enough. One more biscuit for breakfast, and it's gone, but he didn't, and it isn't. So there's one out in the ninth. Gary Matthews is 0 for 3 with a walk and a whiff. Hit in the air to left, but not as deep, and towards the line. Coleman is going to get there, and that's 2 gone, and now Moreland. Keith is 1 for 3 with a walk. Grounded to Ozzie at short. And Ozzie makes the play for out number 3. Cubs go down in the ninth, 1-2-3 off Worrell. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Here comes Stoddard back for his second inning of work, if that's the term I'm looking for. He will face Clark, Pendleton, and Oquendo in the Cardinal ninth. They're looking to walk it off. We're tied at 3. Jack Clark 1 for 1, 3 walks, 2 intentional, and a double and a run scored. Stoddard, the wind, the pitch. Hit in the air to left. Sarge back, track, and catching. And one man gone. Clark put a charge into it, but didn't get it out of here. That's going to bring up Pendleton. 0 for 4 for Terry on the day. 1 out, nobody on. Stoddard the pitch. Hit in the air to left, but not deep. Matthews coming on. He makes the catch. 2 outs in the ninth, and Oquendo coming to the plate. Jose, 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Pitch to him. He walked him. A 2-out walk in the ninth, and Ozzie Smith coming to the plate. Ozzie 1 for 2, 1 intentional, 1 unintentional walk. Stoddard to the belt, checks Oquendo at first. The pitch to Ozzie. Hit in the air to right. Moreland charging in quickly to make the catch, and that retires the Cardinals in the ninth. We've played 9 and decided nothing. We're going to the 10th, and it's 3-3 in St. Louis. Worrell is coming back out. Didn't know if he would, but they want the game. Worrell coming out. It's Durham, Say, and Davis for the Cubs in the 10th. Durham's 2 for 4, a pair of doubles, a pair of runs scored. This one's hit in the air to center. Willie McGee coming in and makes the catch on the line drive by the Cub first baseman. 1 gone, and Ron Say comes up. 1 for 4 for Ron on the day. Hit in the air to left. It's high but not deep. Vince Coleman under it and makes the catch. 2 gone. And Jody Davis, 1 for 3 with a walk and a run scored for Jody. Pitch from Worrell. Hit in the air to right, but not deep. 1 for each of the outfielders. Oquendo will make the catch. And that retires the Cubs in the 10th. Now it's the bottom of the 10th. It's Lake, Worrell, and Coleman. We're going to get a new pitcher for the Cubs. It's Lee Smith. In the bottom of the 10th, the closer for the Cubs, of course. Lake, 2 for 3 on the day with a bunt. Worrell is standing in the on-deck circle, but there's no way he's batting. Lee Smith, the wind, the pitch to Lake. Grounded to Durham, who's going to flip to Smith covering, and that is one gone. Worrell going back to the dugout. Whitey calling on a pinch hitter. It's going to be Kurt Ford, left-handed batting outfielder. Played a lot of right field against right-handed pitchers. He's in there now against Smith. Coming off the bench cold to face Smith, not a pleasant task. Let's see if I can adjust this a little bit. And that's a little bit better. All right, so Kurt Ford in there. Kurt, 285 against right-handed pitching. Pitch from Smith. Is grounded to Say. Ron gloves it and throws to Durham. There's 2 outs in the 9th. Vince Coleman with 2 outs and nobody on against Lee Smith. Hey, struck him out. That will end the 10th inning. We're going 11 in St. Louis, and we're tied at 3. It's Boa, Smith, and Dernier for the Cubs in the 11th. Worrell's day is done. It's going to be Pat Perry for the Cardinals on the mound, replacing Worrell. Perry facing Boa, who now will not be pinch hit for. Dave Lopes is on deck to hit for Smith. Boa, 2 for 2 on the day with a pair of bunts, a pair of ribbies. Pitch to Larry. Grounded to first. That's Clark, who takes it unassisted. And there's 1 gone. Dave Lopes being called on. That will end Smith's day with a perfect 10th inning and go no further. Davey Lopes, late season acquisition from Oakland. 277 against lefties. I didn't give you Perry's numbers. Pat pitched 45 games in 1987, 1 save, 65 innings pitched. A 4-2 record with a 439 earned run average. He's a lefty. Lopes is in there against the lefty with a 364 on base average in 84. Lopes. Batting for Smith. There's 1 out and nobody on. The pitch to Davey. Hit in the air to left, but not deep. Coleman is going to take it, and that's 2 gone. And now Dernier. Bobby's 2 for 5 on the day. Cubs have done nothing offensively really since the 6th inning. A pair of walks is all they've had since that time. Cardinal bullpen has done its job. This one's to left, and Coleman charges and makes the play. That retires the Cubs in the 11th. Perry does his job. 1, 2, 3. Go to the bottom of the 11th. Cubs 3, Cardinals 3, with McGee, Herr, and Clark coming up. The Cubs will be calling on the oft-used Warren Brewster. Brewster fits in the 9th position in the order. He is a right-hander with 41 games in 1984. 3 saves, 63 innings pitched, a 1-1 record, and a 311 earned run average. He is a right-hander. McGee, Herr, and Clark are his opposition. In the bottom of the 11th, we're tied at 3. McGee, 1 for 5 in the day with a double and a strikeout. Pitch. Hit in the air to left. Matthews will make the play, 1 down. Tommy Herr. Tommy, a rough one, 0 for 5 with a strikeout on his day. He's had some chances. Pitch from Brewster. He draws a walk. He reaches for the first time on the day. And now it's going to be tougher to not go after Clark because first base is not open. And they could really use a double play grounder. Clark hits the ball awfully hard, so we'll see. Clark, 1 for 2, a double, a run scored, 2 intentional walks, 1 unintentional walk. And he's just been a menace in the lineup for the Cubs. Brewster to the belt. He checks Herr at first. Pitch to Jack. He walked him. So 2 on with 1 out, and you got to wonder if Brewster's workload is playing a factor here. Pendleton comes to the plate. Terry has also had chances, but is also 0 for 5 with a strikeout like Herr was. So Herr is at second base. Clark is at first. There's 1 man out. Pendleton, an excellent double play target if you can get him to hit on the ground, and that's Brewster's specialty because he throws a sinker. All right, pitch. Hit him. He hit him with a pitch. Brewster's control has left him. And now Jim Fry has an ugly choice. Does he go to Bordy or stick with Brewster? Bordy has been throwing. How do they want to play this? Yeah, they're going to stick with him. Okendo is at the plate. There's 1 man out. Herr is at third. He's the only run that matters. Clark is at second, and Pendleton is at first. So the bases are loaded. The infield is in. The outfield is in, and Okendo is up. Jose is 1 for 4. A double, walk, and a whiff, and a run scored for Jose on the day. If he walks, the game's over. Everybody's in. Little league depth for the Cubs. The pitch to Brewster, from Brewster to Okendo. Ball 4. It's a walk-off walk, and the Cardinals win the game 4-3 in 11 innings. All right, let's give you the particulars. For the victorious 1987 Cardinals to improve their record to 2-2, 4 runs on 6 hits. But the Cubs intentionally walked 3 guys, and they unintentionally walked 7, 8, 9 guys. So the Cardinals could have scored a lot more runs. And the Cardinals had no errors. So it was 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for St. Louis. For the vanquished 1984 Chicago Cubs, 3 runs on 10 hits, and they committed no errors. Winning pitcher, Pat Perry. Losing pitcher, Warren Brewster. Cubs drop to 2-2. Cardinals elevate to 2-2 in this first game of the series. Big one for both teams. Want to thank you so much for joining me. This is the second game of the Game 4s that we will be showing you. Come on back tomorrow for more Payoff Pitch Dream Season Baseball. Hope you enjoyed this one. Once again, the final, 1987 Cardinals 4, 1984 Cubs 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Please click like and subscribe to my channel, and you'll be kept up to date with all Payoff Pitch Dream Season developments. Have a great night. Thanks again. So long, everybody.